I'm Professor Cesi Cruz, and the class I teach is Institutions and Economic Development. It's one of the political sciences 389 section classes. It's 389015. So I'm originally from the Philippines. So I grew up most of my childhood in the Philippines and then moved to the US when I was in high school. And how I got to Michigan is by way of LA. So a little bit of a temperature change, a little bit of a temperature difference. But otherwise, I think I love the whole, giant public school vibe that both campuses have. So my start was actually in economics. I started out as an economist and did a little bit of both as an undergrad. But what really changed my mind was this. As the more economics I learned, the more I learned that politics really matters for a lot of these things, and that it's hard to study just econ without a little bit of politics, especially in the kind of countries that I work in. I love so many things about teaching, except maybe the grading. I think that's the one thing that I don't love, but everything else, I think, especially seeing people changing their minds about something, or seeing people who have misconceptions about what economics is or what political science is, and then seeing them, seeing it click for them about the ways that they can use these tools is the big thing for me. That's an easy one. My favorite unit is the very last one, and that's the one where we're going from all of the different tools and theories that you're learning in class to applying them in real life. And so that's my absolute favorite one, where you basically get to take things that didn't sound that exciting maybe when we were learning about them in class, but then you get to do them for a policy partner or a real world problem. I think that's probably going to be the most unique and surprising thing about class is that the assignments are a little bit different. One day you might be doing something that looks like a normal assignment or a quiz, but the next day we might be writing a briefing for a policy partner. We might be doing a video or helping with some input into a policy report. And so the types of assignments can be really surprising sometimes for people. Yes, and that I think the main takeaway from my class and the sort of the heart and soul of the class is how we need to understand a lot about politics and political institutions to make sense out of all these economic theories that we have, right? I think sometimes we have a sense that economists know everything already, that we have all the answers, we can figure it out, or that there's an easy formula to get economic outcomes, but what this class will show you is that often it's politics that gets in the way, right? Well, why do we see sometimes economic policies that don't make much sense? Well, there's usually some sort of political reason. And so that's the main thing that I think they'll get out of class. It wasn't very fun, but it was definitely surprising, and that was last year. We when we did the class in the spring, our partner was USAID, which is the U.S. Institute for U.S. Agency for International Development. I should remember their name too. But in the middle of the term, the agency was getting shut down, and so that was a shock to everybody. I have to say, all these years of teaching, that's never happened to me before with a policy partner. But it was basically happening where every week we were hearing back from our policy partners that, first their email was taken away, then their offices are shut down, then they were all furloughed. And so with this really dramatic and disturbing event that we were seeing in real time in the course of the class. So it's a big surprise and a big challenge, I think. And kudos to my students from last year because they were great sports about having to pivot to new partners and new projects for the class. The thing I most hope for is for them to see the kinds of theories and the political science concepts that we learn as something that's not just for the exams or for the assignments, but tools that they can use for social action, for policy, for the kind of work that they're going to be doing in their careers, and that they take away a sense of confidence and a sense that even now at this stage, as sophomores or juniors or seniors, and even some freshmen in my class every now and then, that they can make a difference and they can be, helping in these real world ways.